Right, it's 8:30 and we're ready to ramble. So yeah, I really need you today, but we'll get onto that a bit later on. Here, first of all, just set the scene. You might be starting to recognise the vineyards now. But over here is the Languedoc and Narbonne. So I'm on the border of Languedoc-Roussillon. So Languedoc and Narbonne over there. Pan round here we have a great view of the Tuchan mountain up to 900 meters. Behind that, that would be the Carcassonne direction behind there. And then coming round here, we can just see, I was totally amazed, but the Pyrenees, the foothills of the Pyrenees. This is the Canigou with the snow on the top. So I can just see that here. And pan round behind me is the Mediterranean behind these cliffs. Definitely not going for a dip. We're still not allowed to go for a dip, by the way. More of that later. And then panning around and the wonderful Chateau d'Aguilar. There's a Chateau d'Aguilar just rising up amongst the clouds. So you come full pan round to show you where we're going this morning. So let's have a look down at the vine and see if you can identify the vine here. So look at the leaf. It's just slightly spitting with rain here. There's the leaf, so nice and round, not very indented. It's very waxy and smooth on the top. And turn it over, no hairs at all. So those of you who've been following, this should now be making you think about a particular grape. I can show you the actual grapes as well. There's the grapes. But you can't really tell from the grapes this morning. Yeah, sipping points, Grenache. Excellent, so nice rounded shape, turn it over, no leaves. That's the Grenache. So we're actually in my GRENACHE GRIS vineyard that we were in last Monday. And I just thought I'd bring you back into this vineyard just to show what's been happening over the past week or so. But first of all, a word on the weather. As you can see, I mean, in a way, it's quite beautiful. And it does remind me of Wales, actually. If, Rob, you're listening, this is reminding me of Wales. It's sort of damp, it's raining, and it's warm, it's muggy. And that just means one thing for us. It means the risk of mildew. Mildew, I think, is the scariest vine disease about at the moment because it can completely devastate your vineyard. So we're organic, so it means that if we get mildew on the vines, there is no way that we can get rid of it. So mildew, we have to do preventative protection. So we use copper, we use sulfate, and we also use a fortifying fruit pectins to try and strengthen the vine naturally, so it has more defense. So that these little vines here, we're trying to help you vines, we're trying to help you be stronger against odium. And let's bring you down into this vineyard. So basically all weekend we knew it was going to rain. It was forecast, the rain. So all weekend Jean-Marc was out on his tractor spraying and protecting the vines as much as he could. He went out all day Thursday, all day Friday. Just a view of the Chateau d'Aguilar. So all day Thursday, all day Friday, and he was out until 11 o'clock Friday evening, and then the tractor broke down. So he was out doing the best he could. It's just a mad panic to try and protect all of the vines because I think we've got a week of rain coming up. So we really need you as well. Please come back. Please support us. Keep sending us sunshine because this week's going to be very difficult. So we've protected the vines as much as we can. Jean-Marc was out till 11 o'clock on Friday evening, spraying and protecting the vines with an organic mixture. Back out up at 6 o'clock, mended the tractor, got back out, sprayed again. And was out all day Saturday too. And then on Saturday afternoon it was like, shall we go? But it started to get a bit windy, it started raining, because if it washes off immediately it loses the effect. So in actual fact there's no point putting it on if it's about to rain because it will just wash off. So it's been a busy weekend, but now we can't do anything else. As you can see, it's really muddy. Oh, I meant could ramble a bit more. It's really muddy. You can see here, look down here, and it's sort of a silty vineyard today, and very muddy, so there's no way we can get the tractor in to do anything, and it's forecast rain for the next 4 days. Hopefully they get it wrong. They do get it wrong a lot down here. Just wanted to show you something here. Okay, anybody any idea what this is? It wasn't me. That. Okay, so anybody's got any idea what that was or who did it in my vineyard? Boar poo! Maxime, you're right, it is. It was a boar poo. And talking about the wild boars, we're just coming down here to show you something else. So lovely flowers. I mean, the advantage of the rain coming out is that all the flowers just sprung up. Lovely yellow one, if anybody knows what this lovely yellow flower is here. And again, if you have any questions, if there's a little question box at the bottom, if you put them in there, that means that I can look at them at the end and can answer them, put them up on the screen. If not, I'll try and read through as we go along. But Dan, this is what I wanted to show you here. So, anybody any idea? It's quite difficult to see actually, but this is actually a thistle. It's a type of thistle called sow thistle or milk thistle, which I talked about before but couldn't find it. And this is to show you, if I can get right in, there. It's actually been eaten. And again, it's been eaten by the wild boar. So the wild boar absolutely love this. It was fed to sows before when they were feeding their young, because it was said to increase their milk production, hence the name sow thistle or milk thistle. So perhaps it does the same thing to the wild boars, but you can see there, been in and nibbling away. And here, these little round footprints, that's my pesky wild boar in the vineyards. Yeah, Kevin, are there wild boar hunters? There are wild boar hunters. It's not the hunting season at the moment, so they can't actually get out and hunt. And to be honest, you know, they're not that effective. There's so many wild boar now that it's actually, you know, we're almost overrun by them, because as you can see, it's just the perfect scenery here for wild boar. Yeah, Matt, bring your rifle down. Could do with that. But my mother-in-law does make a wicked wild boar stew with it. Absolutely delicious, marinated in Fitu, the Fitu wine. So here we are in my Grenache Gris. This is the vineyard that we've been slowly bringing back to life. It's the one that we bought this year. So it's a hectare of vines. It's about 4,000 vines planted in this 1 hectare of vines. They're planted at 1.60 meters. And that meant we couldn't get the standard tractor down the rows. So this is a vineyard that up until now would have been weed killed chemically. We're organic, so the first thing we did was to come in and to give it a nice plough. So you can see here, it took a while. We had to chainsaw the branches down, if you remember, so that we could get our little chuniard, which is just a horse width apart, a little tractor that's a horse width apart. Oh, I didn't know that. The milk thistle, Bert is telling me it's good for the liver. So is that a human liver? I don't want to suggest eating it until it's 100% checked out, but wow. And then here you can see just very wet, dank morning, and we've just got that horrible feeling in the pit of our stomachs that you can't actually do anything. Now we've got a week of rain that's forecast. Hopefully that's not going to happen, but until the wind starts blowing, and you can see, I mean, look, it's just completely still. Yeah, that low cloud in the background, look at that. That's on the Tuchan mountain. Just absolutely beautiful. And there is an expression in French which says something like quand il pleut, les fous rentrent. Quand il pleut, au temps pluvieux, les fous rentrent. Something like that, which basically means not even madmen go out in the rain in France. It's a bit like madmen and dogs in the hot sun for the English, but that's the expression here. So you can see there's absolutely nobody about. Nobody goes out over here when it rains, apart from me. Yeah, Brad, it is atmospheric. It is. It's lovely. I mean, in a way, it is a lovely morning, but for the vines, it's disastrous. It could be completely disastrous if we haven't protected our vines enough, or if we can't get back in. Because if you look at the soils, if we can't get back in to protect them within a week, then we really do risk a big outbreak of mildew. We don't have any yet. We're crossing our fingers that we don't get any. The only thing we can do now is to go out to keep looking at the vine leaves. That's where it comes out first, the mildew. It'll be like a little spot, like an oil spot, a spot of oil on the leaves. We can look at that to see if we find any. Then we can come out and we can put some more sulfur and copper on the leaves to try and dry it up. Basically, you have to dry it up so that it disappears. If you don't, it just spreads. I sort of liken it. I don't know if this is correct but anyway, I sort of liken it to having athlete's foot. Athlete's foot, you know, it's sort of warm and muggy between your toes, so you get a fungal infection. And if you don't treat it, it just spreads. That's exactly the same here. And you get sort of athlete's foot more in the summer when it's hot, if you put trainers on. And that's the same for my little plants here, poor little plants that with the fungal disease, with the hot, muggy, damp weather, there is a risk it's going to spread. Let's just have another look. Look at these lovely, you see, these are the ones that Jean-Marc shaped with his chainsaw, just so that we could get the tractor in, but they're looking great at the moment. And as you can see, the grass and the ash trees and other plants here, more thistles, beautiful, have grown up quite a lot. With this weather, the grass is really growing, so they've grown up quite a lot over the past week. We were in this vineyard a week ago, and we really need to come in now, and we're actually going to use a strimmer. So we're going to use a strimmer to go up and down these rows past the 4,000 vines that are in here to now get rid of the grass in between the vines. But we can't do that until it's a bit drier. As I said, you know, people don't really go out when it's raining. I know in the UK and Wales you're going, we go out, we do it, but not over here. We have to wait till it's nice and dry. There's a bit of brightness on the horizon. Ooh, we're marching on. And then anybody know what that is? We didn't know what that was. It looks a bit like rhubarb, but I can see time is marching on, so should I. So, hi Diane. Diane's definitely got a lid on this morning, this wet weather. And then just coming up under the olive tree. So here you can see the soils. It's sort of scree, a bit of slate, a bit of clay, sand, sort of all mixed up. And that's been churned up by the wild boar. And then the last thing I wanted to show you on the plant side was this. Under the olive tree, we've got this, which is wild asparagus. Remember that, Nikki, when we went wild asparagus picking? Makes a fantastic omelette. It's not the season is a little earlier. It's in February, but this is the wild asparagus, what's left. Just one more look at the clouds here. And then there was something I wanted to show you as well, quickly, is this. This is what happens if you don't prune a vine. Okay, so this vine, we weren't able to prune it because it was under the olive tree. And so you can see here, if you don't prune it, these are the shoots from last year, and it's produced loads of little grapes. But those grapes, there's so many of them that the quality would not be good. It wouldn't be as concentrated as if you prune it. You get more concentration in and better grapes. If you don't prune, it will be okay for a year, and then it's going to use up all its energy, these 70-year-old vines, in producing this, and the following year basically it probably wouldn't produce very much at all. It would just wear itself out. So I'm just going to shelter. It's starting to rain quite a lot now. Oops, under the olive tree. Just take a quick look at your questions. So this one from Marcel, is the spraying you do protecting the leaves or the bunches? It's protecting the leaves at the moment because that's where the mildew will start. So when we spray organically with the copper, the sulfur and the fruit pectins, it goes on the leaves. Well, it goes on the bunches, but it's the leaves we need to protect. But then as soon as new leaves grow and they're sprouting at an amazing rate down here, those will be unprotected. So we'll always need to get back out. At the moment, we need to get out, if we can, sort of every week So it's been fantastic. Thanks very much for joining in. Sorry it's so damp. I'm loving it. Reminds me of home, but my vines are definitely not enjoying it. The mildew likes it too, so please keep following, please keep sending the sunshine and the wind. Can you send the wind over down here so that we can get rid of this bank of cloud that is set in for the week. It's going to be a testing week for us, so please follow in tomorrow. I'll be here and very much look forward to seeing us. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye from a very damp Tuchan.